cold day here today, so we're going to take advantage of the fact that we have our wood cook stove going. And today we're going to make some pumpkin dinner rolls. It's time that we get through some of our garden produce from this last year, and that also means rotating what may be left over in our pantry. And we had some leftover pumpkin puree from where we pureed pumpkins last season that I want to get used up. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to get all my ingredients together, and I'm going to show you how we make pumpkin dinner rolls today. First thing we're going to do is go over what our ingredients are. Now, if you've seen us make our regular homemade sandwich bread or our sweet bread, you're going to notice that these ingredients are very similar. I took the base from that recipe, made a few changes to come up with the recipe for these rolls. So this recipe is going to have flour, sugar, salt, a little bit of vegetable oil, some yeast, some pureed pumpkin, and then I have some milk warming on the stove just in case my dough is too dry. I will have that ready. Now, before I start putting these in the bowl, one thing I want to mention is I'm making sure that my ingredients are room temperature. My pumpkin puree and my milk especially, because I don't want to put something cold in when I'm making a bread dough with yeast that I want to rise. So let's get started and get our ingredients in the bowl. So we're going to start with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and this is just measured out. It is not sifted. The next thing we're going to do is a 1/4 cup of sugar. Then we're going to use 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast, which is the equivalent of 1 packet. So I'm going to do 2 heaping teaspoons. It's my normal measurement for my breads. Then I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm using an iodized salt, but you can use whatever kind you want. I just put my salt around the outside edge because I'm just going to be mixing all this together right away. And then I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of oil. Like I said, I'm using a vegetable oil, but if you have a different oil you prefer when you make your breads, that's fine. So there's 1 tablespoon and 2 tablespoons of oil. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add our pureed pumpkin. Now this is a homemade pureed pumpkin, and I'm adding in about 1.5 cups. Into my mix. Now, if you're using a canned pureed pumpkin, it might be a little bit thicker, and this is the spot that the recipe may change just slightly. Now, because I'm using a homemade pureed pumpkin, it might be a little wetter than what you would get out of a canned pumpkin. So I'm holding off before I add in any milk, and I'm going to mix the other ingredients together, and if it looks like this dough is going to be too dry, I'll add the warmed milk a tablespoon at a time until my bread gets to the right texture. So I'm going to start mixing this with a fork, and it looks like it may be good, but I won't know until I get my hands in it. So any of you out there who make bread, you know, nice clean hands into your batter, and that's when you get the feel of your dough. So we're just going to start mixing this in. Now, if by chance my dough was a little bit too wet because of the pumpkin, this is where I would add in a little extra flour if needed. Let me start getting this mixed together, and I'll be right back, and we'll see if I need milk, flour, or if it's good just the way it is. Okay, this is coming together well, but what I want to do is I want to get this out onto my pastry sheet, and for this, it doesn't look like it is too wet or too dry. It looks like it's going to come out fine. So I took the milk off the stove so I don't burn it, because it doesn't look like I'm going to need that. I do have some flour here next to me, just in case. I've got like 1/4 cup of flour. And I do that, and I have that ready because if you've ever made bread and had it be a little too sticky, and then had dough covered hands and had to reach to try to get some more flour, you know how much of a mess that makes. So having that ready is good. Now the next step is going to be to knead this for about 5 minutes. And this is where I'm going to be able to see. As you can see, I've got a little bit on my hands, but it's not super sticky. And this dough isn't supposed to be dry, but I also don't want it sticking to my hands. So I'm just going to put a little bit of flour on my hands and do a little more kneading. And I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes, and then I'll be back. And as I need a little bit more flour, I'm just going to put a little bit on. We're going to just keep folding and kneading this until we have our 5 minutes up. So I'll be back with you as soon as I'm done. All right, it's been our 5 minutes. The dough's not sticking to my hands at all. I used maybe another 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons. So now I'm just going to form this into a ball. I'm going to take a pan that's got some oil in it. I'm just going to rub that around on the inside of my bowl. A little bit on the top of my dough. I'm just going to set my dough into the bowl. I'm using a shower cap, which I find works great for covering my bowl to let my dough rise without it drying out. Now I'm going to let this rise for about an hour in a warm space. Now a trick you can use is just turn the oven light on in your oven. Put this in your oven without any heat on, just the oven light. Close the oven door and let it sit in there for about an hour and it'll raise nice. We've got our wood cook stove going, so I've got a nice warm space there. I'm going to put this over by the stove and I'll be back with you in about an hour and we'll see how it's risen. So it's been an hour, my dough has doubled in size, and I'm going to take it out and put it on a scale to measure and see how much we have. So let me get my scale to 0. There we go. I'm going to take our dough out. We're going to weigh it. And we're at about 840-ish grams. So that means each one is going to be about 70 grams. So I'm going to break this into 12 pieces and make sure they're pretty close to even. And as soon as I have that done, I'll be back and show you the next step that is completely different than how we make our rolls normally. So I pre-greased a 12-cup cupcake pan, and that's what I'm going to be putting the rolls in. So I just used butter, put that on the pan. I'm going to put this to the side. Now when I'm working with dough, I cover it with a towel in between. It keeps the dough moister, and I've made myself 12 of these rolls, and while I'm working on each one, I'm going to leave the others covered. So in the meantime, I'm going to just take my first one. I'm going to just roll it out into kind of a rectangle shape. And I'm doing that because I'm going to actually roll out the dough, and it may be just a little sticky. I'm going to roll it out, and then I'm going to put butter on top of this once I get it rolled out. So I'm going, because these are smaller rolls, trying to make this into kind of a rectangle, and it's maybe 5 inches by 4 inches approximately. The thinner you go, the more roll it makes when you do it out. So I'm just going to take my brush and I melted some butter, and all I did was take a stick of butter and put it in my jar and warm it by our stove. I'm just going to do a nice brush of butter across this beautiful dough. Put that out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it. Now I'm rolling it from the longer side as opposed to the shorter side, depending on how big of roll you want. If I was doing these into a bigger muffin tin, I would do twice the size and roll it out twice as big. But I'm just going to roll it so it's in a long stretch. I'm going to give it a pull, and I'm just going to take my ends. I'm going to tuck one end inside the other. I'm going to pinch it, and then I'm going to take this. I'm gonna put it into my pan and I'm just gonna press it in. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the other 11. We're gonna get this tray full, and as soon as I have the tray full, I'll be right back. So I'm rolling out the last roll here, getting this flattened out. And now if you wanted to make this into a loaf of bread, you could. You could still roll it out like this. You could also, because this is a sweeter dough, because of the amount of sugar we put in it, you could put when you butter it, you could add brown sugar and cinnamon and cranberries and nuts if you wanted to make it into like a sweetbread. If you'd like to see me do that, make sure you leave a comment. If you like this kind of recipe or have something similar, let me know. We'd love to hear what you make. So I'm just gonna roll this last one up. I'm gonna get this rolled up and into the pan with the other ones. Now at this point, I am going to cover these and let them rise for about another 30 minutes or so and see how they rise. If necessary, they can rise up to as much as another hour if need be. So I'm gonna put these aside. We're gonna let them rise, and I'm going to make sure I cover them. This time I'm gonna use one of my tea towels. I'm gonna put them back over by the stove and I'll be back. Well, I checked them at 20 minutes and they have doubled in size. So they've risen over the top of the pan. They're gonna rise a little bit more in the oven. So I'm gonna put these in the oven. Normally I would put these in at about 400 degrees. I'm gonna check them after 15 minutes and we'll see how they are. Let me get these in the oven and we'll check on them in 15 minutes. Well, it's been about 18 minutes in the oven. Now I'm using my wood cook oven, so it's gonna be a little bit different. They got a little bit dark on the top, but that's perfectly fine with me. Now I'm just gonna put butter on top of the rolls, and that's gonna keep them from getting hard on the tops. So as soon as they come out of the oven, you want to spread a little bit of butter around on the top. Makes them nice and delicious. So I'm going to butter the top of all these. I'm gonna let them cool a few minutes before I take them out of the pan. You normally wanna let them sit 5 to 10 minutes before you pull them out. I'm gonna put them on the rack to cool, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna give one a try. Well, they've cooled off just enough for me to be able to take and rip one open and show you why we rolled these the way we did with the butter. So the rolls came out good. They're nice and light on the bottoms. And when I take and rip these open, you're gonna see that we have layers here on our rolls. And they're buttery and they're soft and light and airy. And they rip apart just gorgeous. So these rolls are amazing. And of course, you got to do a taste test. So it's a mild pumpkin flavor. They're really good. These are great for around the holidays or anytime. I've made these ahead and frozen them. They freeze really well, defrost great, and still taste absolutely amazing. So whenever you're looking for something a little bit different than your standard dinner roll, this is a great recipe to go to. I'll make sure that I leave a link to the full recipe in the description along with any items that I used in this video. If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends because it really helps us out a lot. And until next time, everybody, take care.